Hello YouTube, Professor Codger here. Welcome to Community 102, Ethics 2, the Self. In our previous ethics course, we discussed how we should treat others around us and those in the hobby. Today we're discussing something different. How should we treat ourselves? Many pipe smokers create rules that make the hobby less enjoyable than it needs to be. Pipe smoking is a hobby. Its purpose is enjoyment. If your personal rules are making the hobby stressful, it may be worth reevaluating those rules.
Yeah.
The hobby exists to serve you,
hmm
not the other way around.
Yeah, and every pipe smoker, I mean, is an individual person with all kinds of different, personality that they're bringing to the table. So they're not all fitting the same identity.
Yeah,
It's the one that's what they have in common is that they all smoke a pipe, but beyond that, they're all different people.
all different walks of life. Yeah.
Yep.
First thing I think is that relights are fine. Many new smokers feel embarrassed when a pipe goes out, and they shouldn't. Don't be
Yep.
so hard on yourself. Every pipe smoker relights. Experienced smokers relight. Experts relight. It's not a failure. It's simply a part of pipe smoking.
I will say that I think that when you're a beginner and your technique is not that good yet in various ways, you're going to probably find yourself lighting it constantly. Like you probably didn't even light it right to begin with, and then 2 seconds later you take a couple puffs and then it's out again and it's out again. So you're probably embarrassed about that, and understandably
Right.
so. Don't be embarrassed about it, but as that will go away, and then then when you get halfway through the bowl and you need to relight, you don't really feel like that's not a
Yeah.
big deal.
Yeah. Um, I had a viewer comment about how a lot of times it gets said that pipe smoking is about relaxation and sitting back and taking the moment, but it might give the sense to a new pipe smoker that that's all it's about.
Right, or it has to be that way.
Yeah, that it has to be that way. But not every bowl has to be smoked to the bottom. Sometimes you run out of time. Sometimes the flavor changes. Sometimes the experience just feels complete earlier,
Right,
and then you're done.
and sometimes that's not everybody's disposition. Like I think that is something that in our modern fast-paced society that's attractive to us about
Hmm.
pipe smoking. I think to a lot of people, but it doesn't mean tobacco isn't tobacco. I saw an actual different YouTube video recently about like what they how soldiers used to smoke in like
Right.
1776 or something like that, and it's like, dude, they were just like, yeah, grab me some tobacco, let's smoke it real quick and get on with what we're doing. Like they weren't sitting
Hmm.
there like, we had this leisure time. It was, not everyone's sitting there on a front porch all the time. They're appreciating tobacco, and then they're
Right.
going back to war essentially,
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Likewise, not every smoke needs to last an hour. A 15-minute smoke still counts. A partial bowl still counts. You can also smoke your pipe while doing other things. It doesn't have to be about just smoking your pipe. Many smokers enjoy reading, gardening, driving, walking, working in the shop, listening to music. The pipe doesn't always have to be the center of your attention. Sometimes it's simply a companion to another activity.
yeah, we
And the
went on a hike
companion smoke
recently
is
and
really
smoked a
nice.
pipe together, and it was just having two of the things I really love at the same time.
Yeah.
It was really nice.
You know, the internet often presents an idealized image of pipe smoking where everything is relaxed and slow and perfectly lit and deeply contemplative.
Yeah, no relights.
No relights,
Yeah, cool smoke, cool bowl. The whole
yeah,
everything.
everything. But real life is usually messier than that, and that's okay. You know,
Well, one thing I want to say that came to mind when you were talking about being embarrassed about relighting as a beginner too. I think there's something in this whole thing where, and we've talked about it before, where like the hobby itself is the numbers of people that are smoking pipes are going down, and this channel isn't necessarily to evangelize that, but at the same time, it's a hobby that we care about,
mhm.
and sure, other people potentially would really like it. And there definitely are people out there that will come to enjoy the hobby in the future for themselves. So we went to the Chicago Pipe Convention
Yeah.
recently, like a month or so ago, and what's that? Or 2 months ago, and that's the biggest one in the world, right? If I'm not mistaken.
As far as I understand, it is the
You
biggest
know,
one in the world.
and my buddy Rob here is pretty, aficionado about pipe smoking, and I am pretty somewhat new. I mean, I've been smoking on and off for years, but sometimes I would had gone a couple years without even picking up the pipe. So getting back into it, and I had this cob pipe, and there was people there selling pipes, and they had pipes that were $1,000 or more. Some of them a lot. The most of them were $200-300 minimum. A lot of
Uh-huh.
them, they were really nice pipes and really expensive. And people were they had this big smoking tent, and there was people, sharing drinks with each other and smoking pipes, sharing tobacco, and talking. And one of the things I felt at one point was like, I've got this, measly cob, and there's people saying, "Oh, what did you buy? What did you buy?" And it's like, I didn't buy anything like that.
Right.
I just got this cob, but nobody made me feel uncomfortable, nor should they. I mean, this is also a personal thing beyond just pipe
Yeah.
smoking, how you act as a person. But there isn't. You don't have to be embarrassed for being a
And yeah, yeah.
beginner or
Don't
being where
feel
you're
bad.
at.
Don't don't judge yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like anything, you'll get better at it as you spend more time with the hobby. And eventually, whether they're a bunch of cobs or not, you're going to end up buying more pipes. That's just kind of inevitable if you spend,
That's just the nature of the hobby.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, some people manage to keep it tight, but for nearly every pipe smoker, he ends up acquiring. I mean, at the end of the day, it's respect for the hobby, respect for others, and the purpose of this course, respect for yourself. Some of the best smokes happen when we stop worrying about whether we're doing everything perfectly.
Yep.
You know,
And that's probably a good life lesson in general, right? But
yeah, there's the ability to accept imperfection.
yep.
Very important.
Yeah.
Until next time, thanks for watching.